Showtime.
It is showtime. Hello, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, James. We're just waiting to get live on Instagram, and here we are. We are now live on Instagram. And welcome to Inspired Entrepreneur and Supercharged Sunday with your host, Greg Piskazup and James Wyatt. But this week, we have a special guest, Dawid Dowbusz, joining us to explore the challenges investors face in the UK. So, from navigating the regulatory hurdles and identifying lucrative opportunities, we'll uncover some strategies to succeed in a UK investment landscape. So, stay tuned, grab a cup of coffee, and give us another 45 minutes of your time, and that may change your next property investment. So, thank you very much for joining us in on Sunday. James, how are you today?
I'm very good. Thanks, Greg. Good to see you. We've both been outside with our shoes off, feeling the ground, getting our grounding going. So we're full of energy. Yes, I'm having a great day
Yes,
so
yes, this
far.
morning me too. I went outside to do my grounding, the earthing, without shoes, and we love it. And that's what it is. It's you have to start with your with your mind, and
Yeah.
that changes everything. But ladies and gentlemen, we've got David with us today. I will invite David onto the stage. Hello, good morning, David.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Hello, good
David.
morning. So,
How's
David,
your day?
you are very well-known person in Polish community because you've done so much. I know you very well, but there might be there will be still a few millions of people in the UK that might not know you just yet. Could you just please introduce yourself and what it is that you do?
So basically, I arrived in this country 2012 with £300 in my pocket. The idea was to steal some job, get some money, and run away back to Poland to do wedding and settle for the rest of the life in Poland. But life is so different, and I was looking for some ideas what I can do else than working in green card for minimum wage. And I found that book, Robert Kiyosaki, and everything starts from there. So from that day, I built a property portfolio over 50 houses, which most of them are HMO properties, but there are also some commercial to residential conversions, also new build houses, and now two biggest projects are block of flats. One close to the city center in Sheffield for 57 flats, and another one 20 flats in small towns in the east side, Scunthorpe. And basically, I also built quite a lot of different kind of companies. First of all, the idea was to build companies around my portfolio so they can manage that. So I hired full time and I trained them deal sourcers. And then next stage was to have my own project managers, which will deal with renovations. And after that, well, not even after that, that was, to be honest, one of the first letting agency, and
Yeah.
then accountancy company, and now I'm going through FCA, Financial Conduct Authority. So new companies are coming on the board as well. So basically, the goal is to have all of the companies I need in investing in properties. So I will have everything under one roof. So today I employ around 40 people. So basically, it's not like Robert Kiyosaki model where just buy, give it away to someone, so someone will look after the property and forget about it. Basically, I have it's like full-time business because now they're not only working for me, but we manage around 400 investors who are buying from us now, and uh, majority is like singlets. I don't sell any HMO properties to people without any experience and without any knowledge, because I know how much I can hurt those people. They can't imagine like how many traps there is in properties.
Yes.
So I see many competition where they sell in HMO property or commercial property without planning permission, and then people who saw something on YouTube or anywhere else, they think like, oh, I'm gonna get planning permission straight away, and then they need to struggle with the local council, which will have different regulation than the national regulations. So basically now we focus also a lot of in single property. And the last thing is my conferences. I feel very lonely, and at the very beginning my English was not so good as it is now. Still, it's not perfect.
It's good.
That time I decided it would be nice to gather in one place people with same mindset. So I start my conferences in Sheffield. At the first one, we have just over 10 people, and I saw this like a huge success. Where now, every 2.5 months, we have around or over 400 people, and still it's like full in Polish. Where we live in UK, it's like 500,000 Polish people still here. In Poland, there's like nearly 40 million people, and in Poland, people can't gather so many 5 times a year. I'm not talking about big conference where they preparing one every year. I'm talking about doing conferences 5 times a year. So this is like a great success where I can see people hunger, where they want to develop, where they want to build, and where they want to build that community. And that's a
David, I have to stop you. James, this will be the easiest interview we'll ever going to do live here. David's done this many times. He's already answered 7 different questions. David, you need to give me a moment to ask the question. You're brilliant. Let's just recap a little bit. So, David, you obviously self-taught, which is amazing. Well done, buddy. Well done, because what you're doing, it is absolutely amazing. I know, I've been to your events. I know what you're doing, and definitely well done. You deserve an applause here, because you're cracking. And as you said, you've came here, started very basic, and you've taken on that leap of faith. I'll try it and do it. And this is exactly what we're talk about on this podcast, where we are helping people to take that decision, take that leap of faith, and leave the limiting beliefs on the side, and just really focus on I can do it. And today, we already learned from you that you are aiming to control all of the aspects of your property investing. So when you're controlling the whole food chain, or the whole chain of events, you're then less likely to fail. And how amazing actually to be able to to build that in place. So again, you've said so much. I'm just trying to summarize, because you're a very talented person, and I know I follow you. I know what you're doing. I'm your fan. So well done. And today, David, because we don't have a lot of your time, and I'm really grateful that you did find some time between your life and your family on this Sunday to join us. We would like to ask some questions to help some people who are still there, going through their investment, but they are very, very challenged at this moment. And as we all know, it is not easy to invest in the properties. James, you have your coaches. Could I just ask the question? What's the common question that people have, and come to your networking events and ask that? What's the common challenges they have?
Well, there's a number, but I would say the first challenge is they're not sure what they want to do, the clarity. So, David, what would you say to people that are coming to networking events? They're showing up, because showing up's the first step, actually making the effort to do something, taking action. But quite often we have a problem of clarity. What advice would you give these people?
First of all, they supposed to know, or they supposed to find out their why I want to basically do that. Like, do I want to earn certain amount of money every single month? Do I want to just leave my job and focus on my hobby,
Mhm.
or do I want to have like extra cash in my pocket and stay where I am today? So first of all, they need to answer themselves what they need that for. Like, what is the reason why I'm waking up every day and doing
Yeah.
something? And then if they see like my goal is earning £10,000 a month, so we need to start like, what is my today condition, how much savings I have, what I can really do. Can I do I am able to start straight away investing in property? Like if I'm in South, in London, Oxford, Cambridge, maybe the flipping will be better for beginning. Because if I can flip a property down south, definitely I will earn more than I will flip same property in the north. If I don't have enough money to start, then there will be a different approach. It's going to be really good starting, for example, with rent to rent. But rent to rent, it's not as easy as some people think it is. It's really hard work, and especially when you are like full-time employee, you will need to spend another 8 hours after to have really good results. Today, I have like two of my friends. I also educate people, but I don't educate with rent to rent. I have another speaker who do that, and they investing in Portsmouth down south. And after a few years, I don't know how many years it is now, maybe 4 years later. They build a rent-to-rent portfolio, which they also use service accommodation strategy, and their earnings are now yearly is 200k clear profit just before tax between them two. So it's like huge difference. So if you don't have money, then rent to rent might be a good strategy, or deal sourcing. But with deal sourcing, it's going to be hard because investors, they don't know you, they don't trust you. So it's going to be hard at the beginning to build that trust. But as soon you're going to find few investors, that can be an extra cash for you. And if you have money, then the best strategy is very common strategy, investing somewhere in the north, Manchester, Newcastle, Sheffield, Nottingham. There's plenty places where there is a lot of opportunities with common strategy. Just buy, refurbish, remortgage, repeat, and just keep going. So that was my strategy.
And David, there is a hybrid. There's actually one that's sort of in between, isn't there? Where I know a friend that bought a 48-bedroom HMO, so it's cash flowing, but it needed some work doing to it. So we can shut each floor down using the cash flow to do the refurb. So you've got a bit of a hybrid there where you've got money coming in. So because projects eat money like Pac-Man, don't they? So you're absolutely right. It's a question of what have you got right now, and where do you need to get to, and when's enough? And also we have to keep an eye on our family and our fitness and ourselves as well. So that's a great answer to clarity. But can I just ask?
Because there are different routes. There is like one easy road, like staying in the life where I am now, and I'm just buying extra properties without huge hassle. Then it's like average route where I'm putting more savings to start investing. There's like hardcore route, which I took, where it was like no social life. Just I was doing in my history, there was like just doing all of the time I was able, and I was looking for every penny where I could, like doing some extra services after work for landlords and other people as well. And for 5 years I was building my business, and I have no holiday. So not everyone will take that stress. So this is like an advice for people. Like, you need to think how much you can take on your on board, because definitely there will be stress coming with that as well, and people need to realize about that. There is also always pros and cons in that business.
So, David, because you said something very important there, and the two things I want to relate back to it. So, the recent one is if you're taking too much on your shoulder, you can burn out. And the last week, Friday, I was on a training event, and one of our head trainer he mentioned having your strong why definitely important, but try to talk yourself out of it. And if you fail to talk yourself out of doing something, then you know that this is something you're going to take, you're going to do it and follow up and see all the way through 100%. And yes, I know exactly what you say. What you're saying, we're not having holiday. I've not had holidays for 3 years, and just recently took my family for a nice holiday. It was amazing. But previously you were talking about funding your deals, and I believe this is one of the challenges is these days is how what's the best way to fund your deals, and how do you do that, and what would you advise people to do?
So it's also the question, where you are. Are you like experienced person or you are unexperienced person? So if you are a person who have already portfolio, but like I said, you have something which you can prove that you are an experienced person, you know what you're doing, and you are a safe person, then you can use other people money. I'm hearing that like many people advise other people who don't have any experience, like, oh, you don't have money, use other people money. And this is like a huge risk because if you don't have any experience, then there is a huge chance you will lose the money because you don't know how to deal with renovations company, you don't know how to deal with the planning permission and other and there will be other random situations which you will not know how to handle.
Just to clarify, let's take for example, let's assume that the person we want to relate to is they've already used all of their own money and they've done one or two properties and they just run out of their own money. So now they've got something, but all the money is in their assets, and that's the common struggle I hear.
Well, then they can do like a joint venture. They can give other side like personal guarantees, so the other side will feel secure. And this is like a really good fast track using other people money, and you can share with them the profit when you do like a joint venture, or you can use their money just paying them on interest like a loan. So this is like a quite good strategy, but you need to be sure like the property you're aiming now it's a really good deal that even if there will be some kind of mistakes, then still you will win with that property. There will be a profit on that property. So this is really good solution because with the banks, bridging loans or development finance will be always taking much longer than private investors, and it might be also much more expensive than private investors. So to get investors like that, definitely you need to show yourself in different kind of conferences and talk about that, what you're doing, that there are like opportunities, and you're open to work with other people because they need to know, and they need to know something about you as well. So it's good to build that history, what you did in past, like pictures, spreadsheets, just you can prove someone what you did in past, and that you are like trustworthy to work with.
Well, so sorry, David. So when you say, so I completely agree with that. I live in the Northeast, so we talk to each other up here, and I always say to my clients, tell everybody what you do, tell everybody where you're trying to go to, and I love that phrase. Who do you know who? That can take the pressure off of a direct sort of asking for money for private investors. So who do you know who would like to invest in this and get this? I love that. And you are right. bridging and going to the banks, yes, they've got the money that we need, but it takes longer than you think, and it's really expensive. Private investment, building relationships with people, building that trust, having that experience to know it's not going to fall through. Great advice. But I totally agree with you. Private investment is a great shout. My question was, David, is, you talk about going up the front, getting yourself known. I agree with that. I think that we need to sometimes get out of our comfort zone and get up the front of the room, grab the mic, because you instantly network with the room. What advice would you give people that are even frightened to stand up and do a 20-second pitch? What advice would you give them, apart from the whys? What sort of confidence can you give someone? Give me an example of where you've done something and you were a bit worried, but you got this.
It's everything coming up from practice. And on my experience, when I talk about things I'm sure about, I have no stress because I know what I'm talking about. Like if I'm going to talk about my property, I've been there, I run the whole project, so I know everything about it, and it's not going to create stress for me. So as soon I strongly believe as soon you talk about things you actually doing, you will feel more confident. It's same like you're gonna have a mechanic guy, and you're gonna take him on stage and just tell what you're doing when you change the tires. So he will tell you like straight away. And I don't think he will feel like huge stress about it because he will just dig in his memory like what I'm doing first, next, and then third. And it's not going to create huge stress for him. So as soon you talk about things you experienced in the past, I don't think you will have a huge stress about it. And if you're like honest, you have nothing to hide. Like just keep remember everyone who built huge portfolio, huge business, everyone was somewhere at the very beginning. Everyone was somewhere at the start. So great businesses they haven't been built overnight. Everything takes time, and just keep practicing. For me, it was, for example, more stressful start doing interviews in English because it's not my first language, and I know I'm not perfect still with my language skills, but I decided just to go for it.
Do it anyway.
Some people will complain get better. Other people will say like you're talking too fast because this is one of the things. Like Polish people, they like when things are happening fast. We talk fast, we think fast, and it's just cultural thing. But I think Greg will agree. When we move all to UK, we feel like in slow mode. But
I bet.
you need to use to it. And it's not like I'm complaining. I honestly prefer living in UK because I like this style what we have in UK. Everyone is like chill, no stress. There is not so much aggression because in Poland you feel like sometimes like in war zone. Everyone is running. So just be confident about what you're doing, and as long as you're doing that, it's not going to be a huge problem for you to go on stage and just talk about what you actually doing. Don't talk about things you think, because then you might do some mistakes. Just talk about things you actually do.
Brilliant. That's great. And I've got a question to you, David. I would like our audience to get to know you a little bit better. And David, if you could just tell me how you, as an investor, how do you identify, lucrative opportunity for you? What's your strategy for finding the next big investment opportunity, in the UK for you?
So for me, I'm looking for deals where I know all my money, which I will invest in that in that deal, will get back to my pocket in around 3 years, using the strategy renovate and remortgage. So as soon as I see it's gonna be all the money will be back in around 3 years. That is good enough for me, and this is what I'm looking for. But like I said, it's always include remortgaging the property, because if I will just buy for cash, renovate for cash, and leave it as it is, then it will take probably 10 years. But if I use the banks and that leverage, then I'm aiming 3 years to get all my money back.
Okay.
That's a great answer, David, because a lot of people think that they're going to get all their money out straight away. You know, that unicorn deal. And that's what stops people from starting. They're looking for the perfect start. It just doesn't happen. We know that you will need to leave some money in, and it needs to be factored in. I love that. All money out in 3 years. That's just so much. The pressure just comes off the minute you say that. Instead of it being straight away, 3 years. Look at that. Suddenly we're going to go back and look at deals that we were chucking out.
But
love that.
You hear a lot of people talking about no money down, no money down, no money down deals, or get your all money back. In my entire life, I think I had one HMO property where actually I got it all back, like even some extra. But that was like one deal. There was some deals which was better. There was some deals which was worse. But you know, if I will just aim to get all my money back straight away after remortgaging the property, I will stay probably with 2 houses, maybe.
Yeah,
totally makes sense. And actually, David, current economic uncertainty, it's not helping investing in the UK. So how do you protect your investments against this economic downturns and changes?
Quality, because in UK some statistics says that every 4th or every 5th house is with the conditions that you're not supposed to rent that to anyone, and the conditions are terrible. So in UK there is still a huge lack of quality properties. There is plenty landlords who are not willing to do anything about their houses, and there is loads of people who are looking for quality houses. If you check the statistics about growing population, UK is one of the few in Europe where population is growing fast, and because of all those regulations we have, we're not building enough houses. Every year the deficit of houses, the lack of houses is growing, so every year we need even more houses than we needed last year. So it's going even worse way for people who want to rent or who want to buy their first house. But for us, for landlords, where you're gonna do a house in good condition and you're gonna look after that house, it's not like buy and forget. It's you need to do those inspections, especially on HMO properties, because many people think like, I'm gonna invest in property and I'm gonna forget that and I'm gonna live in Mallorca. No, you need to do inspections. You need to check those properties. Is everything is fine with them? And you need to have some budget to keep renovating them, to keep repairing them, because not everything is fault of the tenant. So keep good quality. Keep good quality will always keep your business up as well.
That's why you did the lettings agent first, I should imagine, David, because that not only did that make sure you got the right tenants in there, you're doing the inspections, you're right. Things will go wrong. And if leaks aren't sorted, they turn into big problems. And the other thing I quite like, David, is you are protecting the value of the property in the terms of that. If you've got this property and you've got it quality, you know what the rents are going to be. Therefore, you've got a really good understanding of what the value of the property would be, which means that you can almost bulletproof your financing as well. It's really clever, that. So I would say that's great advice. A letting agent.
Yeah, you spotted right, because that was the main reason why I have my own letting agency. So I will know they looking for after my houses properly. Like they're not gonna forget about them, and they will just email me. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. And I will wake up like I had one of my properties in Coventry, where I changed 3 times letting agency. That was a HMO property, and every single time they was giving that property back to me when they have like bad tenants and they couldn't manage them. And after last one, when we remove all the tenants, give them notice to leave, I just fill that with new tenants and I put that on market for sale, and we sold that property because it was too far away for us to manage. And I used there three different letting agents, and it didn't work well for me, and no one was looking after the property. The condition was some rooms was terrible, and when I asked an agent, when you did last time inspection, they told me like 8 months ago. So you're not supposed to do that, and this is very critical. So if people think like I will buy a HMO property and I will forget that, after 2-3 years, it's my turn-up. He's cutting losses on that property. So it's also about managing those houses.
What did you build? What did you do after the lettings business? What did you build after that one?
After that was deal sourcing company, because I didn't have enough time to search for perfect deals for me. Later that deal sourcing company evolved, and I started selling other properties, like single properties, to other investors. And after that, there was a project management company where I need people who will look after renovations, who will look after contractors, because this is another part where there is loads of risk. Cowboy contractors. I think there is a huge percentage of contractors which are not trustworthy, and if they will feel they can advantage, they will take that. So we need to be very careful with contractors. We need to sign contracts. We need to be sure everything is placed in the contract, and definitely we can't pay them before the job is not done. Like, you finish this stage, I'm paying you. You finish another stage, I will pay you. And we need to check is the stage is honestly finished, because people will call you, I finished that, can you transfer me the money, like, can you pay me the invoice now, because my mom died, my grandma died, or my car is broken. It's always same stories. Like, I don't know, like, builders are the part of the community where parents, grandparents, they keep dying, and then they resurrect them next day, like Dracula, they dead today, but they alive tomorrow, and then they can die again. So you will pay again, and you can ask them like, well, I thought she died 2 months ago. Like, how she's dying again? So you hear those silly excuses and stories why you're supposed to pay now, but you need to be resilient and just pay when the job is finished. Like, finish that stage, I will pay you.
Early on, clearly go to, like, we've got a project and we go backwards and forwards, David, but we've also got some JCT contracts in place. And again, you're right, towards the end, you've really got to keep an eye on what's being done, because, you don't want to be giving them, most of the money when most of the work hasn't been done, because if they leave you, you're buggered. It costs you even more. So JCT contracts are just factor that in with your due diligence. Really, they're a great thing to have. But I think you're right. Going to site and checking.
And it's not only on small projects. It's same things are happening even in huge project, even in massive project. I know a billionaire from Poland who owned an island in Danzig, one of the most popular cities in Poland. He owned 2 hotels, Radisson hotels, massive, beautiful hotels, and he built entire street of apartments. And I know from his accountants that he paid twice as much he's supposed to. But this guy is like 70 years old, and all his life he was like shake hands,
Yes.
and that's how he was doing businesses. and he built businesses doing other things like shipyard. There was something with food as well. He was delivering food to over 2 million people. So different kind of businesses. And then he moved from there to build apartments and hotels. And he paid twice as much he been promised at the very beginning. So it's not only like going to happen in my small apartment where I'm doing a small renovation. Even on huge projects, there are same situation, and we see that especially when the government starts building something by themselves. It's always like they create a budget, and then for some reason it's 10 times more at the end what they pay. So the government are the worst investors they can be on the whole planet. Private investors will always do it better than government.
Dawid, you just touched nicely onto my next question about the government and ever-changing regulations, which are not helping investors in the UK. So my question is, how do you ensure your investments will comply with this ever-changing UK regulations?
I know that one thing is certain: there will be always changes. So even with that, EPC standard, we're supposed to change to minimum EPC C. To be fair, I saw this as an opportunity because I knew that there will be many landlords with really bad properties, which EPC that is like E or F or D, and they will not will to renovate their entire portfolio. So I was thinking there will be loads of opportunities. So for some people, regulations, they create hassle, they create stress, and it's pulling them out from the market. But for other people, it's creating also some chances. At the end, I believe for entire economy, it's worse, because if we add more and more and more and more regulation, it will definitely slow down the economy. Like if there is less bureaucracy, it's helping economy, it's helping business. So for in general, for all of us, it's better where it's like less all those regulations, where it's less taxes and. But end of the day, I know that whatever's going to happen, we can use that also in our advantage. But basically, I don't want people to think like I'm just waiting for next regulations to make other landlords' life harder. No, it's not like that, because it's also going to affect me. But definitely, I will not sit down and cry about that. I will just find a solution, what we need to do with it, and just get on with it. Even now where government spends so much money and they rise in taxes, that maybe will help them in short term, but in long term, those things are the things which are killing economy. They also like scaring out investors, from other countries which were willing to invest in the UK, but now they will think like, oh, too much regulations and too high taxes. Like this country is not anymore attractive for me. So solutions like that, it's like helping you in short run, but definitely will hurt you in long run. So so regulations. We live in the society where there are different groups and everyone wants something for themselves. So now where you are like in the ruling party or other party which want to be a ruling party, you need to do something for your voters. So if there will be like more than 50% voters who will be cannibals, and they will say like, we won't eat humans, so they will think like, oh, if I will give that to them, there's like more than 50%, I will be in the rule. So this is like the crazy example, but this is like a fact. This is like a fact, where those democracy are going. They're not always choosing what is the best for the society. They're always choosing like how much benefit I will have from it, like how many voters I will get if I will do that. So if one day entire country will be, I don't know, people on benefits, so where that country will go, like they will go like giving more and more and more benefits till there will be no place where you can get money for those benefits. So this is like one thing which is like ridiculous about democracy, you know. The problem of Europe, like giving people benefits where they don't need to add nothing to society. You can just come over from any country and just sit down and do nothing, and you will get money for it. So yeah, regulations. There were regulations, and there will be new regulations. Just we need to find solutions how to deal with them.
That's lovely. Sorry, Greg. It's a really good point. It's a good life lesson. This is that in any challenge, you know, we just think for a minute, and then we've got to look for the good in it. What is in that challenge that we can learn from? What can we do better? And that is, and I'll give you an example. I've employed people, and I used to come into my desk on a Monday morning, and you see an envelope, Dawid, and you know that there's a resignation in there. Somebody wants to leave, and I used to feel a bit sad, but then I used to think, well, this is my opportunity to find someone better, to improve that. So that's a good example. Can you give me an example where you've had something really, but then you saw a green shoot of hope from it? Can you give me an example?
Exactly the same history like you just mentioned now. I had a person who, I don't want to complain, but who helped build me everything what I have today, like things which I was lacking experience and knowledge about it, like websites, and build the system which we're going to use to work, build all the spreadsheets, so everything from technical point. And this person was on really huge salary, but after a couple of years was earning a lot of money and not doing none. Basically was not willing even to come to the office, and still claiming wages, like saying like, oh, I'm gonna do it from home, and delivering different kind of job was like a steady doing that in 1 week. It was taking like a couple weeks. And my problem was that I was building connection with employees, and I think I still have that issue because then it's harder for me as an employer, to demand that you're supposed to do the job you're getting paid for. And I was preparing, I think, 2 years to lay that person, to give him basically to sack him, to be honest. And I remember last 6 months I was preparing like evidence, like what you're doing wrong, what you're supposed to do, and you didn't did what you're supposed to. And I think I have like four or 5 pages, like with I don't know how many. There was like plenty. So I was stressed about that. My wife was stressed about that, like who will take his job, like he know everything about systems. Basically he ruined all that, website systems, passwords. Basically he know everything. But thanks to that change, I got new people, young people after university, full of ambitions, and I employed 2 people, and each one of them was doing 6, even 8 times more than he was. So I'm not saying he was a bad person, because he helped me at the very beginning, and I'm still very grateful that I have him. But for some reason, after a few years, I don't know, maybe he burned out. Maybe it was not something for him anymore. So I think it was good for both of us. And like you just said, you got that envelope with resignation. So it was exactly the same with me. When I got resignations envelope as well from some people, I got like so much better employees who was willing to work and was delivering the job, and it helped my business by a lot. It's not always like that, but people they like the comfort, when you have your employees, you're used to them, and you know what you have. And it's always a little bit stress about who will be a new one, like who's going, how the new person gonna work, how I gonna deal with that person. Is it gonna be good for my business, or is it gonna be bad for my business? But changes are good as well, because today times, like many people after 2, 3, 4 years working in the same place, they want some difference. It's not
Yeah.
like Victorian age times, or second or World War time, where people find the job and they was working there 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
Today it's hard with the new generations. It's hard to have employees even for 2 years in same place.
Yeah, I totally
And
agree.
so yeah, this is the reality. And
But David, I want to stop you here because obviously this was a beautiful example what me and James talk about this podcast, week on week. So, ladies and gentlemen, even Dawid Dowbusz was afraid, and that's exactly what we want to. I want to just highlight this when you said I was worried, my wife was worried. So the situation affected both of you, professionally and personally.
yeah.
And what's going to happen? So usually there is a fear, but on the other side of that fear, you had these two amazing people which not even double the efficiency of that previous person. And that's what it is. We are very often being paralyzed by fear, and in your case you've already made a decision, you need to let them go. It was just what's going to happen next that was uncertain. But a lot of people out there is being paralyzed by that fear. I don't know what's going to happen. I'll just, we maybe talk, we may agree to some sort of deal where that person's going to do a little bit more in your case. But usually the people are just I'm going to leave it because I don't think I can find someone better. But actually that's what it is, taking a leap of faith that you're gonna something's gonna come in. Just believe in it, and that's what you did. Well done.
I'm going to give it an easy example. When I laid off that person and I have a new one straight after uni, and the previous person, I asked him, like, maybe I'm going to send you, for some trainings, because everything is changing, the world is changing. And when we run our YouTube channel, I saw like it's not so much successful like it was at the very beginning, and we're not getting so many views and subscribers as it was at the beginning. And I was thinking maybe it's me, maybe it's the content, but it was about algorithm. You need to know how the algorithm works. So when I have a new person, I send him different kind of trainings, and he know what you need to do with the algorithms, like what you're not allowed to do. So YouTube or Facebook, depends what kind of social media you use, they will not cut your views. And easy example, previous person, we built the channel till like 18,000 subscribers, and it took us like 5, 6 years. Now 8 months later, 8 months, we double it. We have nearly 36,000 viewers now.
Well done.
We doubled the work which we did in 5 years time. We just doubled it in 8 months. So this is like crazy. So from one side you feel like that joy, like whoa, we made that change, and it's like it's so successful now. But from other side you're thinking like, oh my god, why I was waiting for so long, like what was stopping me, like I was just hurting myself, and I like lost so many years. And then you think like where I could be today if I would take that decision straight away. And this is like with many things, like where I could be today if I will change this or change that. So we need to bear in mind that we will do those mistakes. And same like with the person at the beginning who makes some kind of mistakes, and same with the person who have 10 years experience. We just need to agree with that, like, okay, this is a lesson, costly lesson, but lucky for me we did something with it, and we make that decision. So I believe it's good to make those changes. It's good to make those decisions,
Mm.
even if the next one will be not right. Then we need to change that again and again till it's gonna be how we want it to be. So just take that stress on board. Just be ready for it, because there will be definitely stress. But after the downside, there will be always, the upper side. That's how the life is. There's always, once we are on the upper side, and then there will be always.
That's lovely. That leads me on to a quick question. I totally agree with that, and I think that businesses are seasonal. There's time for growth and there's time for retraction. In the same way, and this is in the same way we breathe and we breathe in, we breathe out. There's flow. The universe flow and contracts. So have you recognized seasonality in your businesses, Dawid, and how have you made changes?
Yeah, of course. I recognize that, and my wife is keep reminding me, like, look how much you did. Like, don't feel bad about yourself. You're not doing enough now, because I have, like you just said, seasonality, where I feel some doubts about myself. Like, oh, I think I'm not good enough. I'm supposed to do more, or basically I was shit with this idea or decision. Like, I was supposed to step in and work it out straight away. So it's good to have right people around yourself. Like I have now. I have friends and family, and they keep my spirit up. So when there are bad days, I have people who I can talk about that and who will also motivate me. Also, the conferences, those are places, to motivate me. Because I will be honest with you guys, I have huge problem to reward myself. I always think like I'm not good enough. I didn't did enough. So this is like my issue. Like, I'm supposed to start one day and think like, you did this, you did that. It's really a lot. You came to this country with 300 pounds. But then I have that, this is also coming from the background, because we grow up in the country where our parents grew up in the Soviet Union influence, and there was nothing on shelves in the shop. Everyone was poor, so they want happy life for us, but they're not being educated in how the other person mentality works. So their way of making our life better was putting a lot of pressure on child, like, you need to be better, you're not good enough, so then you keep that back of your head, like, I'm not good enough, and I have that issue even till today. But lucky for me, I have those people who remind me, like, you're doing well, you're not a bad person. Everyone can make a mistake. You just focus on what you're doing and just keep going. So this is my answer for those bad days. Just have right people around yourself who can support you. And
I love it. I love that. And the word is environment. It's one of the things I teach for my clients. The more we can control our environment, the better, because that's where we go when we do have doubts, when we are not sure about something. We've got people around us that can give us that support. It's very, very, it's a great, it's gap in the gain, isn't it? It's classic. It's not about, where I'm not. It's about turning around and looking at where you've come and living in that moment and being happy with yourself and having worthiness. You're absolutely right. My wife is Czech. So up until the age of 10, she grew up in a communist state, where food stuff, it just isn't in abundance like it is in the UK. So you are right. It's what we learn. It's the paradigms. It's our past. All of those things add up, and there's stuff that we need to work on. That's really interesting.
But people don't talk about that. Polish people are very. They have a lot of pride, and they will keep everything inside, and they harming themselves. And for us as a culture, as a nation, we have those bad things from history, which are passing from generation to generation. Because if you will see, the ancestors, when there was like wartime, from one side Germany, from other side Soviet Union, and you see like Poland was the country where there was the hugest amount of death. We in the percentage we lost more people than any other country. And then when you see a child growing in war zone, and what emotions that child will pass to the next generation, to the child. So you need few generations to clear that, to take that stress, take that sadness and awful things which people saw. Not people, they don't talk today about things like that, because we see those influencers on TikTok, Instagram, driving Lambo, which they just have a lease on now, and they showing the life which is not real life, and especially for people like that, which coming from different culture, they grow up in different environmental, and they think like, oh, maybe something is wrong with me. No, it's not. It's nothing wrong with you. We not, all of us not supposed to, or we don't need to be honest, drive Lambo or live in expensive hotels. You can see, football stars or famous actors, singers, like how many of them, even when they have like all the luxury you can have in your life, they still are not happy. So for me, the most important goal in my life is to be happy and to bring that happiness to my family. Yesterday, for example, we have a trip to York. Well, we drove there on Friday. We stayed for a night. We've been in few different places with the kids, and when I see smile on their face, that is bringing me so much joy. And I don't need to have like expensive watch, car. I've been in Dubai 5 times, and honestly, I prefer Peak District, just behind the corner, because I live in Shia. I prefer Peak District than Burj Khalifa. And honestly, if someone will ask me like where you like to live, like I'm happy living next to the Peak District, because everyone say I'm taking my wife out for a walk, and we have plenty of joy of it. So I think not following all the influencers which are showing us expensive watch, car, or living in an expensive hotel, like just to show off everyone, like look how successful I am. Just focus on what is really bringing you happiness, like what is giving you your joy, and focus on that.
And that is it. That's it. Know when enough is enough. I call it chasing a beach ball out to sea. You need to sort of, stop, look at what you've got, understand where joy comes from in your life, and do more of that. You are right. More travel, more time with your family, because money gives you the choices to do what you want to do. Don't waste your life chasing billions of pounds when enough is enough. I love that. We do the same thing. We go with our family to the Lake District's an hour away from me, and we'll go on a Wednesday. We homeschool our children, so we have time with our children, and we enjoy the simple things, nature, time with our children. But at the same time, we've got to put food in the fridge, so we do need to work. But there has to be a happy balance.
Exactly. When people ask me like, "Oh, David, do you like to be like Elon Musk?" No chance, zero chance. Or even worse, like Warren Buffett. Like, if they are happy with what they're doing, that's good for them. But for me, if I will be in their shoes, I will be the saddest person on this planet. Like, I don't imagine myself like Warren Buffett, just focusing, making numbers. Like Warren Buffett once says, like, life is a game and dollars are the points. So I want to die out with the highest score. Like, so literally he's saying like, I want to have as many dollars I can have in the account. But what's going to be after your death? You're going to be bankrupt. You're dead. You are in the ground now. So basically you are bankrupt. You don't own anything now. And what was the purpose? So like I said, if that is giving him happiness, that's good for him. But everyone is different. For me, happiness is not definitely being the richest person on this planet. Definitely not. And I will never ever aim to to be like one of the richest in Sheffield or in UK or in the world. Definitely not my goal. Like I want to have joy with my family and joy of the life as well.
Yeah,
And it's not
I
only
agree.
also
Well, we can
and
we can
also
definitely.
see people when they grow. Like I love to see people in the community I build, that I met him 2 years ago, and 2 years later I see his progress, and I see him like very grateful of what he's doing now. This is one of the happiest thing is happening in my life, where people approaching me on airport, everywhere where I am. To be honest, I've been a couple of weeks ago in Turkey, and two Polish people stopped me and have a chat with me, like, "Oh, I watch your YouTube channel, and it changed my life." So whenever I'm going to airport, I know that someone will stop me and will say, like, "I bought a house thanks to you," or "I got 2 houses," or "I got 7 houses thanks to you." And this is the thing is making me happy, because I didn't even realize that I would just talk to the people like what I'm doing, how I'm doing, and they would just copy that, and how much it's going to change their life. Last thing, 1 week ago, I've been in Poland, so we took both parents, my wife and mine, for a trip to some nice
Yeah.
place, nice weather. We've been nice place, and my wife parents, they living in some small village, and they don't know what basically they know something what we're doing, but they don't know how it's really look like.
Yeah.
That it's helping so many people. And we was ordering some coffee, and there is a stranger just walk to me and just tell, like, "David, it's you." Yes, says, "Yeah, I'm David." And he starts shaking my hand, like talking like, "Oh, I bought a house near Leeds," and start talking about what he did just thanks to watching my YouTube channel. And then he started taking photographs, and my wife partner just stood like that, and they was like some kind of rock star. And this is giving me a lot of joy as well, that I know that the thing I'm doing is giving other people, so much happiness.
Yeah.
And so this is quite important. Like when I'm going to the bed, and I know that I'm helping also society, I'm adding something to society.
Yeah.
This is really motivating me, and it's helping me, to have a reason why I want to do those things as well.
Brilliant. That is so good.
So Warren Buffett and Elon Musk, you can stay safe. David will not be chasing you for your wealth. Just rest sure. And wow, David, definitely there is definitely, when once you start, you can't stop, and that's what we love about you. You're a really good guy. But we promised to our audience and to you, we will take 1 hour of your time, and that hour has gone so quickly. But I'll just quickly recap for you what David said today. And David's recommendation was to have your why, your reason why you're doing the investments, because it is not as easy as it may seem. Long time commitments, no holidays, problems with your staff. This is all what we see on a daily basis, and you're absolutely right. And good investments to look at is to have the money return in 3 years' time, which is brilliant, actually, approach, David. Yes, totally. And build quality. I do agree with you. So building for quality, you're securing your property, and you're securing your profit, because people will come and wanting to have your product as opposed to your competition. And signing contracts with builders. It's almost a common sense, but it's so common that people don't do it, and we should all be doing it. David, is there any last advice that you could give to our audience that help you to be where you are today?
Yeah, definitely. A small advice: find people who have experience in the things you want to do. Like if you want to, I don't know, do a bread, employ yourself in the bakery. Yes, so find experienced people and have them around you so they can always support you. Gather the knowledge, but the most important thing, just do it. There will be mistakes, there will be some issues, some problems, but if you will never start, then you will never learn about them, and you will be in the same place for the rest of your life. So just take that on board. There will be mistakes. Find right people, educate yourself, and just do it.
Well,
Yeah.
David, hell yes. Thank you so much, for your time today. And audience, thank you very much for joining us today on your Sunday, taking an hour away from your months and today. So stay tuned for the next week. Something really good and helpful coming your way. And it's all done for today. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great weekend. See you soon.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.